Okay, so part 2, Troy. Once again, confirm we're back in your energy. I am now 100% Troy. I am choosing to support Troy's energy. I'm 100% willing and able to move the energy within Troy's body, mind and soul. And hold. Hold together. Hold out. Beautiful. Okay. Is there anything else we need to do to get into Troy's energy? No. Okay. So let's see where your centering mechanisms are at, with to do with your gaits and things like that. So, okay, that's pretty even. Fingers outstretched. Oh my goodness, that's out by about 2 inches. So, yeah. So there's a whole bunch, so I suspect the scoliosis is very much on the upper half rather than on the bottom half. Let's go do some gait work, I think, Troy. So firstly, just individually checking your arms and your legs. So hold the leg up for me. Hold the leg up for me. Hold the arm up for me. Hold the arm up for me. Okay. So we've got a lock on both the left arm, the left leg. Now we'll do them in combinations. So let's ask, left arm, left leg, hold. Okay. So that's a fight, but it's an exhausted fight. Hold up for me. Okay. So the right-sided fight isn't working at all. There's a little bit of fight left in your left arm. Let's check flight and hold. Hold. Yeah, right. So your flight mechanisms are up and running. We want everything up and running. We want all your mechanisms to be working. Let's check whether we need to do those little foot proprioceptors. No, body isn't even worried about those at the moment. Where do we need to go next? All right, your body wants to go into some immune system stuff now, so let's just go have a play and get your body recognizing some of the big stuff going on. And hold, hold, hold. Oops, hold. Okay, so in the clear, without anything, I mean, I suppose we've got all the stuff online from face down, but in the clear, there's nothing going on in your immune system. It just isn't coping with anything. And it does make me wonder the fact that each time I've run your scan, so many foods are showing up. Like, it's like half the foods each time. So I think because there's just so little energy going on in that gut, the body just is seeing everything as an invader, and it's getting those inflammatory hormones up and running and trying to keep all invaders out. So we'll wake up the energy mismatch points and the 4 major immune system acupuncture points. And hold, 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 hold. Okay. Inflammation and inflammatory cytokines. Inflammation and inflammatory cytokines. And hold, 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 hold. Okay, so there's not an energy mismatch to it, but your immune system just isn't keeping up with all those inflammatory hormones, enzymes, cytokines. inflammation and inflammatory cytokines. And hold, hold, hold. Oops, hold, hold. Okay. Let's just ask in relation to any and all neurological toxins. Any and all neurological toxins. And hold, 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 hold. Okay. Any and all neurological toxins. Any and all neurological toxins. I saw today there are about another half dozen heavy metals, and within your nervous system, oh, maybe it was the endocrine system. I think maybe the endocrine system specifically had lead in there. But yeah, within the vitals, there was a good half dozen heavy metals showing. Any and all neurological toxins. And hold, 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 hold. Beautiful. Okay. In relation to any and all heavy metals. Any and all heavy metals that have no place in this body. And hold, 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 hold. Any and all heavy metals that have no place in this body. Any and all heavy metals that have no place in this body. Any and all heavy metals that have no place in this body. And hold, 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 hold. Beautiful.
Very heavy metals.
Yeah, right. Renergy can feel the heaviness of those heavy metals. Okay. So let's ask viruses and viral-like toxins, viral-like infections. And hold, 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 hold. Viruses and viral-like toxins. Viruses and viral-like infections. Viruses and viral-like toxins. Viruses and viral-like infections. And hold, 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 hold. Okay. I think parasites was quite huge as well. Parasites and parasitic infections. Parasites and parasitic infections. Or parasitic particles. Parasites, parasitic infections, and parasitic particles. And hold. And hold. 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 You're getting your resistance work today, aren't you? Okay, so in relation to parasites, parasitic infections, parasitic particles. Parasites, parasitic infections, and parasitic particles. Just throw the amygdala in at this point. Yeah. So we don't know whether this is the bugs or whether this is you, but at this point your body's gone into escape, submission, freeze. So we'll calm that down. Because sometimes it's the actual bugs. They know we're trying to kill them off and they don't like it. So I might actually check in relation to LPSs, so lipopolysaccharides. So when bugs know that an infection is going to be killed, or when bugs know they're about to be killed by the immune system, many types of infection can break apart into 10 to 30 pieces and go hide in biofilm, go hide in the brain, go hide in the nervous system or fat tissue, and then they come back out to play when we're feeling a bit run down and exhausted. So in relation to LPSs, lipopolysaccharides. LPSs, lipopolysaccharides. because the LPSs are about 30 times more inflammatory than the bug as a whole.
So this is type of bug.
No, it's a part of a bug.
Part.
So it's when the bug self-deteriorates, self-splits itself so that the immune system doesn't recognize it into 10 to 30 pieces and then goes hides. I know, little turds, exactly. It's like with staph and strep infection, there's this cool little thing they do. You can imagine our immune systems have been disheveled for several generations now because of all sorts of toxins on the planet. And so particularly with staph and strep, which have been studied so hugely because we get these multifactorial resistant infections that just can't be killed these days, because they've been within our microbiome now for 60, 70, 80 years, where we've been trying to kill them with antibiotics. They have the ability to so you've got your little staph or strep infection, and as the antibiotic is trying to get into the belly, into the stomach of the bacteria, so it sort of gets in through the membrane of the staph or strep. The antibiotic comes in through something called an efflux pump. Well, those two bugs specifically have the ability to shunt that antibiotic back out through the efflux pump again. They've been in our systems for so long now. They know what to do with antibiotics. I love that. I do. I remember reading that. It was just in some little article with one of my suppliers one day, and I went, what? These little turds. Turdy butts. LPSs. Actually, I'll check retroviruses as well, because if the retroviruses have become part of your DNA strands, then once again we've got to get the body to recognize it if they're creating inflammation in there. Like Epstein-Barr is a classic one, and there's a whole bunch of regular bugs. Okay, so firstly, in relation to LPSs, lipopolysaccharides. And hold. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so in relation to, what was I going to check? Oh, no, I did that one. Oh, retroviruses. In relation to any and all retroviruses. Any and all retroviruses. And hold. Okay. Any and all retroviruses. Activating and recognizing any and all retroviruses. Activating and releasing any and all retroviruses.
Just got something large intestine in there.
Okay. Your large intestine's a little bit flamed at the moment, so I might check the digestive valves and see what because we're activating all sorts of things in the immune system at the moment. So I'm going to go check the digestive valves. Yeah, right. So it's the Houston valve and the cardiac valve that are showing up the worst, but I'll do all four of them anyway. So breathe in and out. 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 Okay, we'll just stack in that digestive energy. That's better. Okay, so there, is it feeling a bit looser again?
Yeah.
Because that's just played up, I'll see whether we need to do the jaw stuff or whether we need to go organs, you know, to just sort of make sure that's as strong as it can be, or whether it's something within the immune system we need to do. Okay, we do need to do some jaw stuff. Do we need the cranial injury stuff? Do we need the whiplash stuff? We do. Okay, so we need the whiplash stuff, not the cranial injury complex. So let's do whiplash first. So lifting the head, hold up, I'm pushing down, hold. That one's okay. 10 degrees, hold. Okay. 45 degrees and hold. 10 degrees, hold. 45, hold. Yeah, okay. So I imagine that your neck is getting more stiff the longer that you're having issues. So that one was fine, but as soon as we got into the 10 degrees and 45 degrees, they just unlocked. So let's put in pec major clavicular as well, because that also relates to stomach energy, as do those neck muscles. Okay. So neurolymphatics for the stomach under the left breast area. Let's run those meridians. Okay, and there was escape submission freeze in there as well. Hold. Hold. And again, lift up. And 10 degrees and hold up for me. 45 degrees, hold up. Still a little weak on 45. Hold up at 10. Hold up at 45. Okay, so I'm not 100% convinced about that 45 degree one. But let's throw in posterior neck extensors. Hold down for me. And head up again, and hold up. Yeah, right. There goes the central one, 10 degrees, 45 degrees, hold. 10 degrees. Okay, so they've all just unlocked so yeah, there's a big strong whiplash in there. So as soon as these muscles keep getting switched off whenever your posterior neck extensors get too tight or stressed out. So we need to push to mush the neck and shoulder muscles at the back. Relax those little guys. And then lengthen to strengthen. Some little tender spots in there.
No, it just felt really, I just felt it go all the way back to my toes.
Beautiful. Oh, that reminds me, I might just do another little release here. So just relax, just give me your full weight. Okay, so the pleasure reward, so just in relation to that neck, the energy is stuck in that, it wants to switch off your pleasure reward centers, it wants to keep you vigilant in relation to that neck weakness, pain, challenge, strength. So you can imagine with a whiplash, and it can be any sort of whiplash. We've found spiritual whiplashes in the past, you know, where things are cruising along nicely and all of a sudden the universe slaps you a good one and all of a sudden things just don't work as well as they should. So, yeah, so anyway, we'll get back in there and check that whiplash out. Hold down, I'm lifting up, and head up. Hold up, I'm pushing down. Beautiful. 10 degrees and hold up. 45, hold. 10 degrees, hold. 45, hold. Beautiful. And don't forget, every time you put your Renew 28 on, if you do 3 applications within 5 minutes, what's the percentage increase in circulation? Is it 20% or 30% or something?
That was 55.
55% increase in circulation
Blood
within
flow.
a
Blood flow.
blood supply, yeah, blood flow.
Yeah.
Within how many minutes? It's like 20 minutes or something,
Yeah,
isn't it?
about 15 to 20.
Yeah, so 3 applications within 5 minutes gives you up to a 55% increase in blood supply within 15 to 20 minutes. It's very cool. And it helps to, it helps the blood vessels be more flexible, and it sort of just helps all sorts of things because of what every time, you know, it touches those cells, it's about renewing, regenerating and detoxifying. But yeah, because the nervous system is negatively charged, it's not a bad idea. I can't remember whether or not you got a purified zeolite to have within your little repertoire of tricks, because we can, you know, when we take the purified zeolites, don't do a non-purified one, but purified zeolites, zeolite is really, really negatively charged. So in the short term, it sops up positively charged toxins. In the old days, what they did the study with in, it was a coal mine in Carolina, I think, lead, mercury, cadmium, aluminium. So those were the 4 top things that they would find in urine over the next few months, and then it would happen again then it would start again after 2, 3, 4 months. It would start again at lead, because initially it's just sort of what's going on through the gut, and then once the gut gets cleaned up, then the next round it sort of gets into the deeper tissues. So just sort of thinking from that perspective, that's why I love the zeolite in there as part of a thing as well. You know, it works just slightly differently, and anything that can sort of help from different directions is just powerful, I think. Yeah, so once it sops up the positively charged toxins, it goes back and sops up some negatively charged toxins. So there are some things that, you know, like cancer cells are negatively charged, graphene oxide is negatively charged. So there's all sorts of things on both sides, but basically zeolite doesn't leave the body until it's negatively charged again. But it seems to ping pong back from being negatively charged to positively charged once it sops up these toxins, then it sops up some of these, and then it you know, so it basically keeps neutralizing, and it only leaves once it's neutral, which for most people on the planet takes between 7 to 9 hours.
So is that something that you'll have to take daily?
Oh, these toxins are never going to go away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just a different mechanism. It's like taking the stem tech stuff as well, you know, the cerebral stem enhance, because that just, once again, it speeds up the release of stem cell release. And once again, I want to ask the science guys with the redox signaling molecules where that sort of fits, because I imagine that they must cross into the bone marrow and stimulate the activity of stem cells.
Yeah,
so, but I know for sure that every time we, you know, because it's been proven, that every time we take 2 of the cerebral stem enhance, that we're releasing 4 to 12 million stem cells within 40 minutes. So, you know, it's just another body hack, you know, to get in there and speed things up.
Super hack.
Yeah, super hack. We love the super hacks. Love the super hacks. Whereas things like sulforaphane, you know, it's hard to, like if you can get Metagenics over there, Troy, there's a product in Australia called Sulfura Clear, and certainly our Metagenics in Australia has got Sulfura Clear. And so that actually activates the sulforaphane pathways. And the sulforaphane also, like the redox signaling molecules, the sulforaphane also activates anti-inflammatory and pro-detox genes in the body. So, you know, once again, you know, it's sort of good to work from different directions. Okay, good. So, where do we need to go next? Yeah, okay. So now we've got to get into some of the emotional sort of neurology, survival stuff associated with this. So it's like your body's hit enough, it's got enough data, you know, we've got enough stuff with the neck, we've got enough stuff with the nervous system and the immune system. So now we need to calm the survival patterns down in relation to that. So here we go, let's ask, okay, so already that has activated all your adrenaline, we need to calm that down. What about your perineus brevis? Yeah, and it's activated fear and anxiety, we need to calm that down. Survival switching, that one's okay. Deep survival switching, yep. Hidden deep, yeah. So you've got deep survival switching and hidden deep survival, so let's go have a play and calm that down. Okay, so where's this pattern stored? The EMC, MMC, PVSS. So it's in the periventricular survival pattern. Oh, okay. But we've also got to put your sixth sense into the equation as well. So it's that knowing. So we need to stack in your sixth sense. Stack in that knowing that you have, that connection you have to all that is. Okay, so first little area showing up is the anterior cingulate gyrus. So this little area is about your, it's your survival system not wanting you to show your vulnerability under stress. It wants you to say, I'm fine, I'm falling down the cliff, but I'm fine. I'm running away from the tiger, but I'm fine. Yeah, so that's linking in with a pain and punishment circuit. Yeah, right. So your nervous system is deliberately making sure that you don't accidentally enjoy things. It wants you to feel the stress and trauma so that you don't allow it again. It's sort of funny in the amygdala chart. The two things showing up is that it's stressed when you're enjoying something, which is of course silly, but you know, it's stressed. And the reason it gets that, it doesn't want you to relax and be happy because the tiger will pounce. But the other thing showing up is shame. Now, when we are natural healers and something goes wrong with us, there's that innate part of ourself that's going, what the crap, you know, I can do this. I've done this on other human beings. How the heck can I not heal myself? You know, and I know people in all areas of healing who have gone through this. And it's a real struggle. We have to let go of that, you know, and it's sort of like we have to sort of go, okay, it's my time on the planet. I obviously need some help, and hey, I'm putting myself out there to do it. So, and the two big things, you need to forgive yourself and you need to have the gratitude. So forgiveness, I don't know, I said it this morning with Katie, but we've got to forgive ourselves and everyone else before bed. Just think of a few people every night and wake up with gratitude every morning. And those vibrations are so much higher than any of the shames and guilts and all of that sort of thing. We just need to focus on the higher frequencies. Okay, so we've calmed those two things down with the shame and the not wanting to enjoy anything. Okay, so we've calmed the energy down in that anterior cingulate gyrus. Now the next one showing up is the orbitofrontal cortex. I should go check that logical creative sides of the brain. Okay. I'd never done that before this morning. Okay, so this little part of the brain, it wants the logical and creative hemispheres in running, so I'm going to see what's going on in both the sides of the brain. I'll explain that more in a sec. So 2 fingers behind your left ear. Okay, so 64 divided by 8, multiply by 3, and take away 11. Hold. Okay. So that's the logic, and there's not a lot of logic going on in the logical hemisphere of the brain. So now I want you to think about think about a beautiful tree that you can climb. And imagine yourself climbing up this tree and having no fear, because it's so much fun to get up there, to feel like you're being a little bit cheeky. You're up there in that tree. You're enjoying yourself, you're looking around, you're seeing things from a totally different perspective. And hold. Yeah, so you've got gestalt, visualization, big picture, creativity running in the left side of your brain where your logic is supposed to be. Okay, so now the right side. So think of the number 81, divide by 9, add 13, divide by 2. Hold. No. Okay. Now I want you to imagine a beautiful rainbow out over the sunset, with the clouds just disappearing in the background, and you can just feel that beautiful vibration of energy. How amazing our planet is. And just that universal sign that, hey, this is a cool place to live. Hold. Okay. So at the moment, the right side of your brain actually doesn't have anything obvious running at 50%. It needs to be 50%. So neither of them are at 50% on the right hemisphere of the brain, and you've got gestalt running at least 50% on the left side of the brain. So do I need to get? I might actually. So once again, I'm going to go back in to the survival switching. Oh, sorry. Gotcha. Okay, so we don't need to add any extra layers of survival switching in there. But let's see. Hand on your navel. And hold. Okay, so there's left-right imbalances with the brain. So the left and right communication isn't going on. Can you touch the top and bottom of your lips? Good. And hold. Yeah, right. And that isn't communicating. And touch your tailbone for me. And hold. Right. So there's some real neurological things going on where things just aren't connecting properly. Everything is just harder at the moment. And by harder, it means your brain's probably working at 1/500th of a second slower than so it's sort of, but all of those pathways just aren't working as easily as we want them to. So anti-clockwise over the heart helps all 3 of them. So let's see if there's psychological reversal in here. Want, need, think, safe. Okay, so the first one is safety. It is safe to let go of this problem. And hold. It is safer to keep this problem. Hold. Okay. We need to let that one go. Want, need, think, safe, believe, deserve, trust. So the second one's trust. I trust I can let go of this problem. And hold. I trust it's better to keep this problem. Hold. Right, so we've got to let that one go. So let's go see what we need to do. I'll see if there's any others. I've got a few extra on my list. Okay, good. So now we're going to whack in the thalamus. So the thalamus is where this switching happens. So firstly, let's see if the left and right thalamus are communicating to each other. And hold out. Nope. Right, so for some reason your left and right thalamus are in escape submission freeze. They don't want to communicate with each other. I was listening to a guy in a podcast the other day who was talking about how the brain deliberately disconnects the left and right sides of the brain. And his sort of reasoning didn't quite gel with me. But what I do know is when your body knows that there's a trauma going on, it will go into the survival stuff. It will go into the amygdala stuff. It will go into the periventricular survival system, because what it wants to do is take out your logical, conscious thinking and simply react. It wants you to go into survival deliberately so it can shut down all sorts of pathways in your brain. This one? Yeah, right. Very tender down through there in that little spot. So that's the first, okay. So and then I'm going to check in relation to the glial cells in the thalamus. So in the brain, hold out, we've got nerve cells and glial cells. There's more glial cells than there are nerve cells. And the glial cells are slower. So the nerves are fast, lightning fast. The glial cells take about 2 seconds to, say, get from the brain down to the foot. Well, probably in a 2-meter person. Maybe it's faster for you. For pint-sized people like us, it's probably about a second and a half. But anyway, so for a 2-meter person, it's about 2 seconds. And that's why some people, you don't feel things immediately. So you might actually, if someone pokes you with a pin, it'll be a couple of seconds before you go, ow! So the nerves aren't working, but the glial cells are. And there's actually thinking about what might be going on in your body, there are glial cells, and I can't remember which one they are, maybe astrocytes, but that could be a lie. There's one of the glial cells that specifically helps to lay down myelin sheath in your nervous system. But in order to do that, you can imagine you've got to detox the nerves and then regenerate the nerves. So it's like a bit of a process. There's still another thalamus pathway we've got to do. Because there's another few. Oh, okay. We're going to get your mind working towards getting this this connection better in the thalamus. So, and hold out. Yeah, so your mind again, because our minds are incredibly powerful, the mind is switching off those pleasure reward centers again because it just wants to focus on what's going wrong. Okay, so now we can go into the periventricular survival system and do a little bit more in there. Okay. Next little area showing up as a reticular activating system. So again, it sort of lives in behind the brain stem, or maybe in the brain stem, but it's in back here. And basically I think it's behind the brain stem. And it's involved in controlling what hormones your body release when something new is happening in your world. So because there's survival stuff, your nervous system is primed for believing everything is dangerous. So what it's doing, it's switching off your serotonin. And we've got all that gut inflammation in there as well, which are hopefully, as the redox molecules, as all the other things we're doing, as that all sort of gets in there and calms down the gut. And any movement we do, like if you got one of those massages and, got that energy going through there. Renergy actually does Chini Seng, which is an abdominal massage. And man, how long you been doing that now? 5, 6, 7, 8 years or something? 10 years?
Maybe about 6.
6 years? So it's sort of like, you can imagine in that area, there's blood supply to all our major abdominal organs. So if you get that energy moving in there, and of course, imagine all that spinal stuff going on through here. So when that spine is congested and we get that massage energy going in there, it can allow lots of things to wake up.
And I use the Renew 28 as well.
Yeah, right.
To the abdominal.
And Renergy uses the Renew 28 on the abdominal area as well to really increase that circulation by that 55% in 20 minutes.
Yeah, massive for detoxifying.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a guy the other night and he's been seeing another practitioner for like 20 years and that other pracky has retired. And nothing has ever really changed anything in his body. He's just had excruciating pain for a long time. So while he was sitting in my clinic and I was muscle testing up the priority of things, and one of the things was the redox signaling molecules, I can't remember what else we needed, but he took 30 mils while he was here, and by the time he got home, he could feel his gut detoxing, which he's never felt anything happen so rapidly before. So I said to him, well, to me, that says there's a lot of toxins in there. Like if we, swish it in our mouth and swallow it and that is happening immediately, we've activated something. We've shifted something. And he said that he's never been so happy to have a reaction like that because nothing ever shifts in his body. So that was really nice. So we're down to 10 mils 3 times a day to start with, and then he'll slowly build up.
Good.
As that.
Because some people can shift out really fast and if they're not comfortable, their body's not comfortable.
Yeah.
If he's happy to detox fast, then by all means.
Yeah. Well, he's not in a place in his workplace that allows it. And that's the thing. Sometimes we just have to think, where do I work? What am I doing? How fast am I leaving? Okay, so again, let's check. Beautiful. Okay, so the flexor hallucis longus and peroneus brevis are good. Let's check survival switching, deep survival switching, hidden deep survival switching. Put your left fingers behind that left ear. Okay. 100 divided by 10, multiply by 6, and divide by 2. And hold. Okay, so we've got some logic running in the left hemisphere of the brain. So now we need to make sure there's something running in the right side of the brain. So let's see what happens. Because it could be anything. There's no way of knowing what happens. We've just taken some stress off that system. Okay, so imagine a purple elephant wearing big green fluffy Ugg boots. And give it a big red floppy hat with a few flowers coming out of it. And hold. Beautiful. So we've got logic up and running in the left hemisphere and gestalt running in the right hemisphere of your brain. That's awesome. Now let's have a look at those psychological reversals. It is safe to let go of this problem. It is safe to let go of this problem. And hold. Beautiful. And also, I trust I can let go of this problem. I trust I can let go of this problem. And hold. Awesome. Oh, let's see where we went with those arm lengths.
Wow.
Absolutely spot on. So that was out by about 2 inches at the start, and now it's absolutely spot on. So awesome. Well done you. So thank you so much, Troy. I shall get this uploaded as quickly as possible, and we'll get all the energy of everyone watching to send you some love and light and healing energy. So talk to you soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Actually, before we do, this is a new program for this body now and in the future. The old program for this body is no longer necessary now in the future. Hallelujah and amen. Beautiful. Okay, cheers.